Good morning, guys. Continue with Arizona on this fine day on Tuesday, March 2nd. Still dealing with some Arizona. We're just going to go through a few state facts just to learn a little bit more about Arizona. We're going to be anything, anywhere from population. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about how big of landmass Arizona is, all that type of stuff. This, my fine folks, is your assignment for today. This is one of those where I strongly suggest I'm kind of talking slowly so you can get your paper packet. Get your paper packet and have it right here, right as we're going along, because once you see the answers on these slides, you can hit pause and you can write down the answer right there. And also, when we'll get to the end of this video and the end of the lesson, you have all the answers filled out. That's what I strongly suggest you need to do. Because, why wait till the end when you got to try to remember all this? Take notes as you're going along, and that also gives you the answer. So let's just get right in here. Now, this is in 1860. 1860, we had President Abraham Lincoln. Arizona was not a state yet, okay? But in the whole area that is now Arizona, there was a population of 6,482. That means that we have 6,482 people living in Arizona. That's not very many. That's like the population of San Carlos right now, and that's in the whole state. Now, I know that this is from 15 years ago, but the state figures I found out was when President Bush was president in 2006, Arizona had a population of 6,166,318. That is a lot of people, and yes, that's over 146 years or whatever, but look at how much it's grown in that time, and Arizona is still growing. Now, when you look at the whole state, again, this is in 2006, again, 15 years ago. Okay, I know. It's a little while ago, but still looking for the census numbers from the last census in 2020. We have 6,166,318 people. Now, Phoenix, one city in Arizona, has a population of 4,349,092 people. Just take a look at this first number in the million spot again. Arizona as a whole has 6 million. Phoenix alone has 4 million. Now, Arizona is a huge state, and yes, Phoenix is a huge city, but look at how many people in the whole state live just in Phoenix. That's a huge, huge chunk of that total state population. And yeah, we got Tucson, and we got Flagstaff, and we got Globe, and we got San Carlos. But by far, the people that live in the state of Arizona live in the Phoenix or the Phoenix area. That's crazy to know. And by the way, I think if we go back to this here, you had a little question right here. You're going to have to see, okay, we know this many people live in Phoenix. How many people live outside of Phoenix? Like us. How many people? So let's try to figure this out together, huh? I will try to be as neat as I can here. Let's do this. Okay, 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay. 1 minus 9, you can't do that. You got to borrow here. So now we have 11 minus 9 equals 2. Equals, I'll try to write this neater, equals 2. 2 minus 0 equals 2. I can do that. Don't forget the comma here now. Okay, 6 minus 9, you can't do that. Got to borrow from this 6. So that makes that a 5. That makes that a 5, which that did not look like a 5. So let's do that. And then 16, I know it's kind of squishy here. 16 minus 9 equals, 7. 7. 5 minus 4 equals 1. 1 minus 3 you can't do, so we got to turn that into a 5. And this into an 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. And then the comma, and we have 1. So, in the outside of Arizona, we have 1,800,000 17,000 people. 226 people, I should say. 1,817,226 people living outside of Phoenix. So again, if you had this correct, there's over 6 million people living in the state of Arizona. By far, most of them live in the fine city of Phoenix, and 1,870,226 people live outside of Phoenix. Now again, this is a huge state, and so there's a lot of places in Arizona where nobody lives, right? However, as I said before, Arizona is still going higher in their population. If we can fast forward to this, come on guys, come on presidents, here we go. Phoenix is still growing. Now, as you see here, Arizona is not the fastest growing state. Arizona is the second fastest growing state in the country. Can you guess the first? Can you guess the first state? By growing, I mean more people are moving in to Arizona than leaving. You know, we went through this with the Electoral College. Believe it or not, there are states that are going down in population. Where I grew up in Illinois, they're actually going down in population. More people are leaving than moving in. New York is another state. More people are leaving than are coming in. A lot of people are coming to Arizona. But do you know the fastest growing state in the country? You might not have guessed it, but it's actually Nevada. Nevada has more people moving into it than Arizona. Nevada's the fastest growing state. Arizona's the second fastest growing state. Still have a lot of people moving in to Arizona. So, this is something we talked a little bit about. And again, the figures are from 2006, the gross state product. What I mean by the gross state product of just Arizona is, remember we talked about how yesterday with our Arizona neighbors, how Arizona alone exports goods to Canada and Mexico and makes $13 billion just in what they sell off? That's what we're talking about with gross state product. Now, it's not just counting what they sell to Canada and Mexico. This is what they sell everywhere, both in-state, meaning if you go to Walmart or Home Depot or Bashas', all the money you spend there is totaled up, as well as all the different things that they sell off to different countries and neighboring states. It's $232 billion. So all the money that Arizona makes here and all the stuff that they sell off all over the world, $232 billion. Now again, that's counting up all the Walmarts, all the Bashas', all the Fry's all year long, not to mention all the tourism and all that stuff. So there's a lot of money that goes into that, but $232 billion is huge. Now, if Arizona were a country, which of course we're not, but if Arizona was its own country, that'd be ranked 61st. So Arizona sells and makes more money than whole other countries in the world. That's crazy to think about. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is the number one job in Arizona? I know we have a lot of mommies and daddies that work at the hospital, that work in the mines, that work at the school district, that work at security, that work in a lot of different areas. But believe it or not, none of those are the number one job in Arizona. I don't mean the number one sought after job. What I mean by that is the business that provides the most jobs across the state of Arizona is Walmart. Walmart is the company that supplies the most jobs. In other words, more people are employed at Walmart across the state than any other job. Fun little fact, huh? Now, there's good old Arizona. Please remember, we talked about this last week, that Alaska does not look like the biggest state in most maps because they just shrink it in. But Alaska is by far the biggest state. Do you know where Arizona ranks? We know Alaska's number one as far as land area, as far as how much land it has. Well, Texas is number two. See, California and Montana look a little bigger. Arizona is ranked 6th, actually. 6th in total land area. Now, As far as the population, please notice again, not the biggest state, but the state with the most people in, California is number one, by far, by far, by far. They have a lot of people. Arizona is ranked 14th in the country. There's a lot of other states, even though we're one of the biggest states, there's a lot of other states that have more people living in it than in Arizona. A fun fact. I hope you're writing this down as we're going along. Now I want to talk about Arizona sports teams. We actually have a lot of big sports teams here. And yes, we have different colleges. But what I mean by sports teams is the professional leagues. And you guys probably know, the owners of professional teams, they want to go to bigger cities because that's where the most people can attend games. And to be honest, that's where the most money is, right? Well, the football team is the Arizona Cardinals. The baseball team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And again, the professional baseball team where the players actually sign contracts to make money. They get paid to play this sport. Then we have the Phoenix Suns. There are the basketball team. And you might not know the hockey team, but the Phoenix Coyotes, they actually call themselves the Arizona Coyotes a lot, in fact, now. And so that is our professional hockey team in the NHL, which stands for the National Hockey League. So these are just simply looking at the different sports teams we have here. So as you can see here, these are all the major sports teams. And again, these major sports teams aren't in smaller cities. These are in big cities, which is why they're all in Phoenix area if you want to go catch a game. And we can see why. There's over 4 million people living in Phoenix, and it's still growing. So that's why a lot of these sports teams are here. Hey, if you missed some of these for your assignment, this is your assignment today to fill in all of this. Every single answer besides this math problem was on those slides. And so if you missed some, so I should just go back in the video, look for that slide. We went right in order. And hey, if you want to, pause the video when you get to that slide and write down the answer. But I want to wish you guys Lord's blessings today as you praise your Savior.